butts out there? Kitthesoulless here, and I have to adjust my screen. There we are. Welcome to another Greymuzzle rant. And just as a reminder to those who are watching, whether it be live or recorded, I am probably going to say some things that are going to piss people off. So, do understand two things. One, I don't care. Two, this is a rant, not a debate. If you want to decide to add your input, go for it. Not going to change my mind. So, first things first, y'all were talking about fucking Arby's in the Discord for like 2 days, and now I've fucking decided I just went out and had Arby's. It's one of the reasons why we're late to this fucking rant. Mostly because, fucking beef and cheddars are damn good. Anyways. So, as you guys can tell from the, title, there is a particular issue that has been driving me nuts, because I have watched so many fucking people, effectively state that, hey, starting over is the best thing you can do for a bad reputation. Just delete all of your content, delete all of your, shit, abandon your current persona online, and start over! There's no harm in it, right? Yeah. I've had this conversation with over a dozen people. Every single time I have given my opinion, and every single time it has been completely ignored. So, from here on out, I'm going to be using this fucking rant as the thing I bludgeon people to death over, with anytime they fucking ask about it. And Hunter, you can shut the fuck up. You've already made your thoughts known. So, how this is going to work is I'm going to pop up a bit of information from an AI, specifically Grok, and I'm going to go over the base recap, or not base recap, the base information it gives, and give my own little take on everything that's going on. Or everything that's being said. So, without further ado, let's get into the bullshit, shall we? So, why starting over to avoid negative reputation is bad? Let's start with 1. Lack of accountability. Personal growth. Avoiding accountability means missing out on opportunities for personal growth and learning from past mistakes. Facing and addressing issues directly can lead to genuine improvement in character and behavior. Simply put, choosing to restart because somebody dislikes you is quite literally running away from your fucking problems. It is running away from accountability, not taking responsibility for what you have done. It is a way to effectively go, whoops, I made a mistake, instead of fucking facing up to it and owning it. I'm just gonna run away and start over under a different fucking name. Societal impact. If people can easily escape their past actions, it undermines the principle of accountability that supports a just society. It leads to repeated harm and deceit without consequence. Yeah. See, there is sort of a consequence to this, and it's been viewed a lot over and over and over. If you want to take into account the shit that happened with Kiro, now I think his name is, actually, I don't even remember what the fuck his name is anymore. What was it? Cadence or something? Hold on. Oh well. Another good example of it, since I don't remember off the top of my head who the fuck Kiro wound up becoming, was this individual from way back when called the Omega, who decided to go and become Astral, then became, I think it was, Alpha or something, kept running away from their shit, kept effectively tripping over themselves and getting discovered. And there's a consequence, because people will actively find out who you are, and that's not that fucking hard. It's really not hard to figure out who somebody is when they start over, because understand, if you never learn from your mistakes, if you never grow as a person, you're bound to repeat the same fucking mistakes. You'll act the same, and quite honestly, it's really hard to mask the way you type, or the way you speak, or the way you act. So, second, and this one is actually one of the biggest issues for me, is trust issues. First of which being the erosion of trust. If somebody frequently changes their identity or location to escape a bad reputation, they might develop a pattern where trust is hard to establish. People become wary of those who seem to hide from their past. There's a reason you don't see people like Astral or V, or whatever the fuck he's being called nowadays, in our Discord server anymore. That's because every time they change their fucking identity, it just reminds everyone that they've done something wrong and they're trying to fucking run away from their problems. At some point, it stops being an issue of, oh, you poor thing, you're just not ready to deal with it, and becomes a, you're a fucking coward. Face your shit or get the fuck out. Simply put, if you're continuously starting over, or rinse and repeat, making a mistake and deciding to run away from it, no one's ever gonna fucking trust you. And rightly so, because it just proves to everyone that you're not willing to change, not going to put any effort forward to become a better person. Oh, and yeah, I know. I'm very much going to piss a lot of people off, because there are a lot of people out there who have made this fucking mistake, myself included. Although, I mean, my original persona online has already been uh shot to hell, because, or not shot to hell, but identified to hell, because at one point I actually went by Soulless rather than just Kitthesoulless. Yeah, not a fucking really imaginative change if you think about it. Second, though, is professional and personal relationships. In professional settings, trust is crucial for teamwork, leadership, and business dealings. Similarly, in personal relationships, or an undisclosed past can lead to betrayal when revealed. What this means is that, let's say you make friends after having switched up your identity, because let's say you pissed somebody off and they decided to give you a bad reputation by claiming something. Well, let's say you've moved on. You've made friends with a bunch of people, and then all of these people figure out that you have a fucking double life. That you were once somebody else who has this reputation that they never knew about, because you were being a disingenuous shit. Yeah. That's going to make them detest you. It's going to make them hate you. 9 times out of 10, if you're unwilling to be honest about who you are, people aren't going to fucking trust you. And again, rightfully so. And again, I need to point out, I've had this conversation with many, 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 many people. Every single solitary time, people disregard it and argue with me, saying, no, it's fine, it's the best thing you can do, it's the only way to fix a bad reputation. No, it's fucking not. It is the only way to fix a bad reputation if you are a fucking 5th grader who doesn't know how the fuck to deal with their shit. Psychological impact. Identity crisis. Constantly reinventing oneself can lead to an identity crisis, where one might lose a sense of self or be unable to find their true identity, leading to sociological stress or confusion. Hi, ever wonder why I'm considered a sociopath? When I was a kid, I tried to reinvent myself over and over and over, and it's called masking. It's something you really shouldn't do, because it can fuck you up. And that's what people are saying by just recreate your persona online. That is the digital equivalent of psychological masking. It is put on a pretty face, put on a happy face, so people will like you. Does it mean you're being genuine with them? Hell no. Does it mean you're lying to them? Yeah! It fucking does. And realistically, you're lying to yourself too. You're also robbing yourself of any possibility of ever changing as a person. Guilt and anxiety. The constant fear of your past catching up to you can cause significant stress, guilt, or anxiety, potentially leading to mental health issues. Yeah, so again, going back to the concept, or not concept, but the talking point of V Omega, or Astral, or whatever the fuck they're calling themselves now. Yeah, the reason I no longer speak to them is because after the third time they decided to change their persona up and try to be somebody who they're not, they started losing their shit. Because any perceived slight became violence towards them. Any and every perceived slight, even if it wasn't actually a slight and just them being paranoid, was immediately responded to with fucking absolute disdain, absolute hatred, and vitriol. They became so obsessed with the idea that somebody saying something might out them for who they used to be, that they shut themselves away from everybody and effectively decided to cling to a super selective number of people who they effectively constantly abused. And each and every one of those people now has psychological issues because of them. All because they thought they could run away from their fucking problems rather than facing them. This person also has a habit of demeaning themselves, claiming that everything that was said about them is true, that everything anybody can ever claim happened or has been done because of them is true, and that they're a terrible fucking person that doesn't deserve to live, but they're too much of a coward to kill themselves. So that's why they keep changing their persona. You see why I keep telling people that this is a bad fucking idea to do? So far, I can tell you from experience that all of these things are fucking true. I can tell you from experience, both mine and other people's, that everything so far that I have, brought up, or that has been brought up by the AI, all of it is accurate. It is not always a guarantee, but it is a very high likelihood. Practical challenges, legal and ill documentation, in many cases starting over legally, is not straightforward due to the idea of, okay, so that's if you're trying to socially run away from who you are as a person, change your actual name and all that, or fake your death. That's not a thing. Community and connection, however, is. Losing one's network of friends, family, or professional contacts can be isolating and might hinder a person's might hinder personal and career development. In this case, I don't so much give a fuck about career development, but I do give a fuck about personal development. People wonder nowadays why there are so many quote-unquote adults who have an issue with not being able to cope and not being able to actually grow as people. This is fucking why. Is because there is this belief somewhere that it's okay to just run away from your shit. To just run away from your problems. Oh well, it's in the past, it doesn't matter. Accountability be damned. Nah. Sorry. Doesn't work that way. That's not the way this world works, and if it did, the world would be a hell of a lot worse than it already is right now. Let's face it. All of this boils down to, socially, if you continue doing things like this, no one's going to trust you. If you are found out that you have had your name change or your persona change over and over and over and over again just because you're trying to avoid confrontation or avoid something that somebody said about you, no one is going to fucking trust you. And I'm gonna point another thing out that a lot of people don't take to heart and don't actually think about, but there's no possible way for everyone in the world to fucking like you. If you change your shit at the drop of a hat just because somebody doesn't like you, or somebody blocks you, or somebody thinks that you're creepy, you're gonna be changing your fucking name every couple of months. I can tell you this one from experience. Nobody is going to fucking trust you if the only thing you do is run away like a fucking coward. Bingo. Now, I will, before continuing, I want to point something out. I have had the same online persona now for over, I think, decade and a half. All of them are still connected to the ones I had prior to this one. Reason being, within a couple days, people figured out who the fuck I was. Again, wasn't exactly that smart as a kid, so just adding a fucking couple of words onto your persona name doesn't help. But I digress. The only time, or actually, no, it's been more than a couple. It's been more than a decade and a half. God, it's been over 20 years. Jesus. Oh, for the record, yeah, we're getting old. For the record, though, where was I? Sorry, my brain died. There's a reason I don't look over to chat during these fucking rants half the time. Also, nom all of your faces. Sorry if I'm upsetting anyone, but I mean that's the nature of these rants. Something has happened in my day or in my life or in recent history that has pissed me off, and this is just me losing my shit and venting about it. Let's move on, shall we? Um, I have had the same online persona for decades. I've been accused of everything you can possibly think of. I've been accused of being a Nazi, a zoophile, a pedophile. I've been accused of being a rapist, a murderer. I've been accused of being racist. I've been accused of things that you wouldn't even understand. Hell, I've had people claim that I actively tried to kill them in places and at times where I had never been. A good example, I had a dude in fucking Florida claim that I had tried to kill him 2 weeks prior. I've never been to Florida. One of the reasons why I haven't changed my persona, why I haven't just dipped and said, fuck it, I can be somebody else, is because it doesn't work. Never has, never will. It's also because, quite honestly, I learned a long time ago that if you don't actually stand up for yourself, if you let something like an accusation or a fucking mistake that you've made effectively up and ruin your entire existence and make it so bad for your life that you have to start over, you've lost everything. 100%. And you will never, ever be able to get anything you had back. Most of your friends will lose respect for you. I, for one, have lost respect for pretty much everyone who's rebranded themselves for any other reason than one specific one. And I had one friend that rebranded himself not because of any controversy or anything like that, but because he didn't like the name he chose because he chose it when he was 12. That I can understand. But if you're doing it to run away from a problem, no, none of the people that actually trusted you to begin with are going to have any respect for you. Most of them aren't going to trust you anymore. Especially if they figure out that you're doing it just to get away from consequences of something you did in a bonehead fucking move. Just seriously, if you've made a mistake, own up to it, learn from it, grow as a person, and move the fuck on. Accept the consequences of your actions and be done with it. Moving on, by the way, moral and ethical considerations. Ethical behavior. Fleeing from one's past instead of confronting it can be seen as an unethical approach to life's challenges. Ethical behavior includes making amends, seeking forgiveness, or at very least, understanding the repercussions of one's actions. What did I just fucking say? Changing your name is one thing. Actively trying to hide who you were and changing shit just to run away from bad fucking optics. I'm sorry, let me put it to you this way. If a $1 billion corporation that fucked people over, used slavery as a option, uh destroyed entire chunks of a country, and whose CEOs referred to every minority by the worst slurs. If that corporation changed their name, would it mean any difference to you? Would it be any different? Would it be the same corporation under a new name? Or would it be something completely new to you? Think about it. Let's say Microsoft, for example, one day up and changed their name to MacroHard, instead of, addressing the fact that they've got some shitty fucking practices where computers are concerned. Like, for example, the fact that they force updates on people whose systems can't handle it, and then tell them, oh, well, you can buy a new PC. If they change their name, would that mean anything to you guys, or would they just be the same fucking corporation under a different name? Go ahead. Tell me. I'll wait. Same company. Another good example. If some group like Nestle that has historically polluted entire fucking chunks of countries decided to become, quote, the family-friendly drink company instead of Nestle, would it be a different company or just the same assholes? Same people behind it, same practices. They would still be the same assholes. It'll be like covering a turd with glitter. But not even that. You see what I'm talking about. It's no different if you're doing it on a personal level. You can polish a turd, it's still a fucking turd. Hmm. Setting poor examples. This one's actually a huge fucking thing for me. Because y'all know I am all about trying to teach people who are, younger than me or who actively need advice the right thing to do rather than, telling them, hey, here's a bonehead idea that might work but might get you in trouble. Setting a poor example. If influential figures or leaders do this, it can set a bad precedent for others, promoting a culture where running away from one's mistakes is normalized rather than confronting them. Hi. So, here's a thought. Take any public figure, any politician. Let's say tomorrow Trump fucking starts World War III and everything fucking goes to hell. 90% of the US populace is destroyed within a month. And afterwards, the dude changes his name to Wawa Skittle Tits. Is the name change gonna mean anything to y'all? Or is it still the same fucking dumbass that you're gonna want to lynch? Hell, let's say somebody like fucking Majira Strawberry, somebody who's influential in the furry community, or was at one point, don't know if he still is, decides one day to up and become a fucking rapist, goes on a spree of just defiling and fucking harming hundreds and hundreds of fucking people, and then changes his name to fucking Saude Blueberry. Is the name change gonna mean shit? Changing your name and running away from shit doesn't do anything. And the worst part is, if you are a public figure and you do this, people are going to assume that it is a valid fucking option. That's actually one of the problems we have nowadays, because there have been a bunch of influential people in the furry community, at very least, who have tried doing this, whether their influence is fucking for good or bad. There have been a lot of influential people in this community who have just up and fucking changed their name because they thought it could help their public image. Wound up doing the same shit, making the same fucking mistakes, and just giving people more shit to bitch about. Uh, Later. Ooh. Understand, if you were a public figure, whether it is major or minor, whether you're a YouTuber, a fucking Twitch streamer, or just a fucking artist who draws awkward things on Twitter, you do something like this, and you are telling everybody who actually gives a fuck about your content, hey, look, if something goes wrong, I can just run away from my fucking problems. This person did it, and they're used to it, and they were popular. Which realistically is setting the people who look up to you up for failure. Let's get into the long-term consequences of it, shall we? And this is what comes back to bite everyone. Because digital footprint. In the digital age, escaping one's past is increasingly difficult due to the internet's memory. Past actions can resurface, potentially causing more damage when revealed unexpectedly. Did I not mention that if you, say, change your name and somehow get away with it, and then wind up with a group of friends, and years down the line they find out that you're this terrible fucking person that did something that they can't understand why you did it and why you wouldn't just own up to it, and they realize that you're the fucking person that they're sitting there, disliking, do you think just because you're their friend at the time, they're not gonna flip the fuck out on you? Nah. If you found out tomorrow that I was some kind of fucking mass murdering lunatic, would that make any fucking difference? Nah, it wouldn't. If you became friends with one of the most popular people in the world, and you found out months and months later that the dude was a racist who wound up killing hundreds of thousands of people just because of the color of their skin, would they still be your friend at that point? No. Guaranteed not. There is no situation where running from your fucking past or running from your issues is not going to come back and bite you in the ass, especially in the digital age, because I hate to point this out. There are people out there who can figure out exactly who you are just by a picture of your fucking, like, finger pointing at a blade of grass in your yard that is super zoomed in, so all they see is this and 3 blades of grass. They can find out who you are, where you live, where you're currently at, what you're doing, everything about you, just by that. So do you think changing your name is going to mean shit? Lastly is missed opportunities for redemption. By starting over, one might miss out on opportunities to redeem themselves in the eyes of those they've wronged, or to make positive changes in the community where the negative reputation was formed. Here's a huge, huge thought for you. Which do you think will be seen as better a reflection of you? Which one do you think will look better for your reputation in the long run? You made a mistake. Instead of owning up to it, you changed your name, ran away, ditched your friends, and tried to create a new life? Or you admitted, yeah, hey, fuck it, I fucked up. Went on and tried to become a better person. Use the mistakes you made to try to grow and learn. Which one of those is going to look better in the long run? Once again, I'll wait. I'll let y'all chime in. Can't be said much better than that, Burb. Just noticed Aiden's fucking comment of, it's like covering the trash with Febreze and claiming it was taken out. Yeah, that's kind of accurate. Hello, Tiny Thing. I have not checked the message you sent me yet. I'm currently in a rant. I'm assuming you wanted to voice your opinion here, or were you just poking me to poke? Aiden, can't say it much better. There's more respect to people who own up to their mistakes. Ah, well, nom nom the tiny nose. Also, gentle snuggles. I'm gonna put this as an ending thought because this is the last bit of it that the fucking AI decided to bring up. While starting anew might offer a temporary escape from negative consequences, the long-term benefit of facing one's past, learning from it, and working towards redemption are genuinely far more rewarding and constructive. If the situation is dire, like escaping abuse or a genuinely harmful environment, then seeking a fresh start might be necessary. But even in this case, the approach should be handled with thought towards healing, growth, and responsibility. Now, I will point out, if you are in a shitty situation, like, let's say you are trying to escape an abusive lover, or an abusive family member, or what have you, that's entirely fine. Break ties, change your fucking name if you need to get away from them and ensure your safety. But if you're just doing it to get away from the fact that somebody got pissed at you, you're a dumbass. Well said, Snake. Awoo. Well, I mean, yay for pain meds. So, what do you guys think? Like, this is now your time to chime in. Like, get some thoughts in. Let me know what the hell you think. Bring up another talking point. If y'all have things you want to chime in, now's the time. Aiden, Burb, you guys have both said it. If all the bad things catch up to you at the same time, it's gonna be hell. Yeah, it really will be. I've always found that your past will always catch up with you. Yeah, it will. You cannot hide from your past. It will always catch up to you, no matter what. Also, I see there are sandwiches being passed around chat, and all I can say is, I had the meat. Yeah, I mean, hey, whole doctrine. That goddamn. That's actually a good point to bring up. Give me a second. Jesus. Trying to look up the whole doctrine. The rule of the whole. Okay, so 100%. This is the hardest thing to fucking find, apparently. Uh, what is the rule of the hole? First law of holes. If you find yourself in a hole, stop fucking digging. Right here. That is effectively the whole doctrine. If you know you have fucked up, if you know you have done something wrong, stop fucking doing it. Some people take things out of context, but yeah, there's a saying: people who don't learn from the past are doomed to repeat it. Yeah. What's your joke? What's your joke, Burb? I mean, that would be funnier if a particular yoke worked at an Arby's, but eh. Ah, well. That is going to be it for this rant. As I said, this is going to be what I bludgeon people with anytime they come to me from here on out saying, well, changing your identity online can be a good thing. No, it fucking can't. It just proves to the world that you are 100% trying to run away from your fucking problems. It shows to the world that you are not mature enough to be considered a fucking adult. And the worst part is, a lot of fucking adults think this is goddamn okay. It's really not. Own up to your shit. Learn from your mistakes. There are consequences to everything you do. If you can't accept that, you probably need fucking help. Anyways, this is where I'm going to leave this. So if you've enjoyed this rant, consider giving it a like. If you want to keep up with this or any of our other content, hit subscribe and ring the bell. Become part of our notification squad so you can see when we upload when we go live. But for now, this is Kitthesoulless signing off. So until next time, everybody, bye-bye. Tahiti, Arthur? Tahiti? Titty! Oh,